When most people think about everyday carry, they focus on what goes in their front pockets. Your knife, your wallet, your phone, maybe your keys. But there's one pocket that often gets completely ignored, and that's the fifth pocket. Originally designed as a watch pocket, it's become a useful spot to carry smaller EDC items. Using it for your smaller items can make them easier to access and open up space in your main pockets for more gear. So today I'm going to show you 4 of my favorite ways to use that little pocket, along with some of my favorite gear in each category. So let's get started. So the first category is knives. This is the obvious choice for many EDC enthusiasts. If you have a lot of other gear, the right fifth pocket knife can give you most of the capability of a larger knife while leaving space in your other pockets for other gear. So what makes a good fifth pocket knife is that it has compact overall length, it's lightweight, has a slim profile, preferably a deep carry clip, although that's not as big of a deal for me necessarily. And also, preferably, at least for me, that you can get a full 4-finger grip. And that is one of the things that I made sure to do in this video is all of the options that I have, you can get a full 4-finger grip on. So let's take a look at my favorite picks. So the one fixed blade that I have is the Lothar Beaver, and this is 14C28N steel and G10 for $20. This is a very affordable option, and it is just a great option if you want a fixed blade in your fifth pocket. So, and the rest of these, I'm going to go from the cheapest to the most expensive. Next, we have the CJRB Mica. You can see this is a very small knife, but I can get a full 4-finger grip on it with that forward choil. And this has AR-RPM 9 steel, which is basically a spray form version of 9CR 18 MOV, I believe. And it has aluminum scales, and this will only run you $40. Now, taking a little bit of a step up, we have the CIVIVI Baby Banter. And this one also has aluminum scales, although this one is also available in G10 and micarta, depending on the version that you get. And this will either come in Nitro V or 14C28N steel, which those are pretty comparable in their properties. So whichever one you get, you should be pretty happy with them. And this one is going to be $70, and a little bit of a bonus with this one, the newer versions, which I have the older version, but the newer versions come with a toothpick and tweezers hidden in the handle, kind of like a Swiss Army knife. So that is a definite bonus as far as capability goes. Now, the next one is a shout out to our friends over in the UK, because this is UK legal, and it is the Spyderco Metropolitan. And the reason it is legal in the UK is because it is a slip joint, so it is non-locking, and it has an under 3-inch blade. And the steel on this is really awesome. It's M398, which is kind of a supercharged version of an already good steel in M390. And the scales are FRN, so fiber reinforced nylon. And this one will come in at $85, which is really kind of an insane deal for that kind of steel. Now, I will put the next one in here is kind of a gentleman's pick, and that is the Artisan Cutlery Cleo. Now, this one is S90V steel, so you're getting a very, very high-end steel here, and the scales are titanium, and this will run you $150, so it is definitely a bit pricier than the other options that we have looked at so far. Now, there's also a copper scaled version if you prefer that aesthetic for your carry loadout, and the copper version will come in at $140. But that is the Artisan Cutlery Cleo. Now, my favorite fifth pocket knife of all time, though, is the Spyderco Lil Native. And this one, the original version, the main version, comes in S30V and G10 scales, and that'll run you about $170-ish. Mine here, it is actually a dealer exclusive from Knifejoy, so this one is S45VN steel, and I added aluminum scales to it. Now, I believe this one is actually out of stock at Knifejoy, so I don't believe you can get the S45 VN version except in the aftermarket. But as you can see, solid 4-finger grip on that. And it's just a very, like, it's almost, I call it my big small knife, because it handles like a big knife, but it is very small and very easy to carry, especially in the fifth pocket. So that is the Spyderco Lil Native. So you have, no matter what your budget is, there is a fifth pocket knife that can fit for you. Next up, we're going to look at multi-tools. And if you want to carry a full-size knife in your main pocket, but you also want to have a plier style multi-tool, there are multi-tools that will fit in your fifth pocket. So I have two here. The first one is the Roxon M2. Now, obviously it's a plier style multi-tool, but the standout here for me is the scissors. These are some of the really the largest scissors, but also some of the best scissors that I've ever seen on a multi-tool. So if you use your scissors a lot and you want a fifth pocket multi-tool, I definitely recommend taking a look at the Roxon M2. And outside of that, it carries a fairly standard assortment of multi-tool tools. So you have, your bottle opener, your awl, just, like I said, the standard assortment of multi-tool tools, screwdriver in there. And I will pop the list up here that shows you all the different tools that it has. But most importantly to me, especially for a fifth pocket tool, is it has a pocket clip. So it will stay in your pocket. It's not going to fall out real easily. But that is the Roxon M2. So the other one that I have here, this is probably my favorite of the two, is the SOG Powerpint. And the standout feature on this one is the compound leverage pliers, and also the hex bit driver, which I'll show you the hex bit driver here in a minute. But the compound leverage pliers, they allow you more gripping with less strength. And also, I think the gears just kind of look cool, if I'm being honest about it. But the other cool thing, and I kind of discovered this the other day, is you can actually flick this open because of the lower strength that is required to clamp down the pliers. Also makes it easier to open, so you can actually flick it open like that and have it open. Now, the hex bit driver is actually kind of a hidden feature, so that's right here. But when you close it like that, you can actually pop a hex bit in here, and when you hold down, it'll kind of lock it into place. You can't get it out of there. But you can use that as kind of like a mini screwdriver. So that's a nice little hidden feature that was just really, really cool forethought on their part. Now, the one bad thing is you don't have any onboard storage for a bit, so you have to have a bit with you, so you'd have to carry it separately anyway. But with a compact design, I totally get that. Now, same thing for this one. I'll pop up something here that shows all of the tools that are in this. But as much as I'm a knife guy, the reality is that a knife is not the right tool for every situation. And these multi-tools give you a lot of capability for those cases where a knife is not the right tool. So next up, we're going to talk about flashlights. Now, one objection that I've heard to EDC lights is, why would I need a light when I have my phone? Now, don't get me wrong, phones are great, and they do have that little light on them that's really intended to be a flash for the camera, but you can use it as a light, obviously. But phone lights aren't flashlights. A dedicated light gives you not only a brighter beam, but it also gives you a more concentrated one, and you don't have to fiddle through your phone menu to find the right button in the right app, or worry about draining your phone battery. And speaking of batteries, I personally prefer replaceable batteries, but I know that some people prefer rechargeable ones, so I made sure that I have options for both here. So the first one we're going to look at here is the Wuben G5. And this one is 400 lumens. Now, it's not 400 lumens right now. This is on the lowest brightness, but you crank it up with the little wheel here, and this is 400 lumens, and then you can bring it all the way back down to the lowest brightness. Now, this one has a rechargeable battery that you charge with USB-C, which if you're going to do a rechargeable battery, that is what I prefer. And the great thing about this is you can see this head rotates, so you can wear it in a shirt pocket, you can hold it like a regular flashlight, wear it however you want to, like on a shirt pocket or a backpack strap, so you can have it pointing wherever you're pointing, or you can also put it on your baseball cap and you slide it on your brim, the brim of your hat like this, and use it as a headlamp. It also has a magnetic spot here, so you can mount it on like say a fridge or anything magnetic. So there's a lot of options with this one, and I think it is a great option. That is the Wuben G5. Next up, we have the Fenix E12, and this one is 200 lumens, so not quite as bright. Although this one I think has a more concentrated beam, and that's in part because of the larger reflector here. But the really great thing about this one for me is that it runs on one AA battery. So it's a very easy to find battery. So if it dies on you when you're out and about, you should be able to find one of those pretty easily. But it is just a great option. And this also has a magnetic a magnetic spot on the back end here too, so you can, you know, attach it to a fridge or whatever you have that might be made of a magnetic material. And it also has a pocket clip here where you can slide it on the brim of your hat and use it as a headlamp, kind of like I was talking about with the Wuben. But you can also use it as a traditional pocket clip, just a lot of flexibility in that. And that is the Fenix E12. And last but not least, we have the Olight I3T. And this is actually one that I stole from my son. I got this from him a while back, but this is a good pocket option as well. This one is 180 lumens, so it is not quite as bright. And this one runs on one AA battery, or AAA battery, sorry, as you can see there. So also very, very easy to find battery. And much like the Fenix, it has this kind of pocket clip where you can use it as, you know, a traditional pocket clip, or you can slide it on the brim of your hat and use it like a headlamp. So a lot of flexibility there. So whatever kind of form or function you prefer, there is a flashlight here for you. And last but not least, we have lighters. Now, this is not one that you might think of if you are not a smoker, but lighters do have a lot of utility. So if you are a smoker, lighters have that obvious utility. But even if it's not, there's a lot of good reasons to have one. It's things like melting nylon rope or paracord, starting campfires, lighting emergency candles, birthday cake candles, things like that. And Zippo is the ubiquitous option here, but there are a lot of other ones that are a similar size and shape. So one is this neat little electric lighter that I got as a gift within the last year. And as you can see, it uses an electric arc in order to be able to light things. Now, the really cool thing about this one is the last time I checked, this one will run you about $9. I'm not sure if that's what the price is now, but it's a very affordable option and it has a lot of neat utility there. And you charge it with, this one uses a micro USB, which I much would prefer a USB-C, but micro USB is still common enough that you can probably find that cord somewhere. But that is a neat option. But let's get back to the Zippos. Now, the traditional insert is a great option if you use it regularly. So let me grab one of those real quick. So when you use these, you flick that and it will create a spark. But it is, to get the actual flame, you have to saturate this bottom section here, the cloth, if you want to call it that, or the cotton type stuff down there. You have to saturate that with Zippo's fuel. Now, that's awesome, but the problem is that will evaporate over time, especially if you don't use it regularly. And I am not a smoker, so I do not use it regularly. So instead of using the traditional insert like this, I have picked up some butane options. So let's take a look at those. So the first one is the butane soft flame. As you can see, it is more of a traditional looking flame. And this is going to be the most similar to the traditional insert as far as the appearance. But one difference is you have to hold the button down on this to keep it going, unlike the traditional insert where it'll stay lit until you close the cap on it. Now, this is a great everyday lighter. They also make a pipe version where instead of the hole that it comes out being on the top, it's on the side here. So it makes it easier to light a pipe if you're smoking a pipe. So that is the, they call it the soft yellow flame insert. So next, let's look at the torch insert. Now, this comes in both a single and a double flame version, but it's hard to see there, but I think you can see it there. And the great thing about this one is, like the original insert, this is wind resistant. And so it's better for outdoor use as far as, you know, candles, camping, heat shrinking, things like that. One of the downsides to the double flame version, which this is the single one, if you get the double flame one, it gives you a bigger flame, but you also will burn through your butane faster. That's just kind of a trade-off. But if you need one that is still windproof, but you don't want to use the traditional lighter, this is the one that I would go with. And Zippo also makes an arc insert like this has. I don't have one personally myself, but that is an option as well. Now, last but not least, You can also turn your Zippo into a compact repair tool kit. And this is called their bit safe screwdriver insert. And it comes with 2 Phillips head bits. So yeah, that one there and that one there, and a flathead bit and a T20 Torx bit. Now it takes standard hex bits, so if you're a knife guy like me and you prefer to have Torx bits, you can actually swap those out for, say, like I have here, a T6, a T8, and a T10, and you can have the T20, and you have a mobile knife repair kit. So that is a super, super handy way to keep those with you. And I know this kind of turns it into not a lighter, but I thought it was a really cool option, so I thought it was definitely worth mentioning. So even if you're not a smoker, lighters really are something that you should consider as part of your everyday carry. So that little 5th pocket may not look like much, but it can be some of the most valuable real estate in your everyday carry if you use it well. Whether you choose a compact knife, a multi-tool, a flashlight, or even something a little different like one of the Zippo setups that I have here, it is a great way to carry more without making your pockets feel cluttered. But I want to hear from you. What do you keep in your 5th pocket? Let me know down in the comments. I'm always looking for new ideas, and I'm sure everyone else is too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check the affiliate links in the description if you're interested in any of the gear that I have featured today. And until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next video.